Alun Wyn as captain. His experience, his manner and the way he goes about things as a player, the respect and the integrity he's got amongst his peers, vastly experienced, captain Wales before, and obviously captain third Test Lions 2013. I sounded Alun Wyn out a couple of weeks ago, and his discussions with Sam Warburton in the autumn series, in terms of when Sam was injured and changing the role as open side to number 6, and having conversations with Sam back in the autumn. Met up with Sam on Monday and had a discussion with Sam, and just felt, the squad that you've seen today, particularly in the back row, you can appreciate the amount of talent we've got, and no one's guaranteed their position. And I think that the one thing with Alun Wyn, he's the first name on the team sheet, and with Sam, as I spoke to Sam, that the talent that we've got in the back row, that we just feel at this moment in time as a coaching team that it's best for Sam to concentrate on being the best that he can be, to get his mojo back, and be available for Wales and play to the best of his ability. And Sam agreed with it, and that was the conversation. And Sam's very humble and very honest, very successful captain for Wales over the last 6 years, and no doubt his experience will be crucial going into a very competitive Six Nations campaign.
Was he disappointed after 6 years and 49 tests as captain?
He didn't speak of his disappointment. I think that you can only have a conversation with Sam. I'm sure that Sam, probably will be a bit disappointed, but I think that the one thing, it's the best decision for Sam. He is a world-class player, and we want him to be the best that he can be, and I think this is the best decision moving forward for both Sam and Wales.
So how do you see that back row battle for places? Is Talupe Faletau likely to be in contention for the first match? Or not?
Yeah, Toby's going well at the moment. He's straight line running. Obviously, I'm going to speak to Todd Blackadder over the next couple of days in terms of his return back to play, sort of protocols over the next couple of weeks. We're hopeful that he'll be available for the Italian selection, but I think first and foremost is speaking to Todd and where Toby's at.
Looking at a couple of the new faces, 2 on the wings, Steph Evans and Ashton Hewitt. No Keelan Giles. Tell us about them. Well,
disappointed really for Keelan. He's picked up a hamstring injury on the weekend. We're waiting sort of scan results on Keelan, and I think that his training age at the moment, he's very young. First time he's pulled his hamstring, and I think that we're waiting his scan results, and we just felt, because of his training age, first time he's injured, that he's not going to be available for a period of time, and so in the best interest for the player that we decided not to select Keelan.
So you've got Ashton and Steph coming in.
Delighted for both of them. Both Ashton and Steph we spoke about in the autumn series before coming in. They played well. And, I think you have to appreciate in terms of selection is consistency performance over a period of time. And both of those players, when they've played, having watched Steph in the Champions Cup against quality opposition, certainly gives you a better indication of where player is at. I thought he played particularly well in the Saracens, and obviously he's played against Toulon, against world-class wingers. And, having spoken to Wayne Pivac, he's certainly improved, in terms of his defence. And, with the ball in hand, he certainly creates opportunities for players around him and himself. Ashton, he's young, he's talented, he needs to be given a chance, and hopefully, coming into the national squad, having spoken to Kingsley, certainly look to improve. There's areas of his game which he has improved on over the last sort of 4 or 5 months. The aerial battle, ability to kick and to make decisions in the backfield. So it's a freshness. It's an important freshness to the squad. and it's something which certainly from a coaching team we're really excited about, and hopefully that freshness now will certainly transfer onto the training field, and hopefully it's a difficult selection for the Italian game.
Owen Williams has been making a case in the English Premiership for a couple of years. What finally convinced you about him?
In terms of his consistency in performance, I think that he has been dogged with a couple of injuries which has kept him out here and there over the last couple of years. His ability to play 10 and 12, as you can see from the squad, we've only picked 3 centres. 3 of those have the ability to play 12 and 13. And obviously with both Dan and Sam in the squad, competition for places. I was impressed with Owen in terms of the Munster game, in terms of the resilience he's shown in the game, and obviously how he kicked. I know he's got a slight injury at the moment, but hopefully he's going to be selected or available for selection this weekend.
And likewise 2 in-form young back rows coming in. Tom Young with Wasps and Ollie Cracknell with the Ospreys. Yeah,
it's hard to ignore probably Thomas. Once again, another player that we mentioned about in the autumn. He's playing in a side that's playing full of confidence, self-belief, scoring tries for fun. Thomas is playing a huge part in that. He's got pace. He's a ball player. He can create opportunities for others. So it just changes the dynamics of the back row. Obviously, we're going into a Six Nations game whereby, there's bonus points. Obviously, weather permitting, certainly dictates particularly the first couple of weeks in the Six Nations, in particularly in February. But, having the creative ability and ball plays in the back row certainly gives us options, when it comes to selection for that Italian game.
Rob, just on the captaincy, it was reported last week that it was Sam Warburton's decision to step down. Just judging by what you're saying now, was it his decision or your decision?
I spoke to Sam and he agreed that is the best decision, that ultimately he'd need to concentrate on his own game. Obviously, I don't know what the reports were last week or this week. That's all I can say is the conversations I've had with Sam in the autumn, prior to the South Africa game and the Argentina game, and then I met Sam on Monday afternoon.
And was Warren Gatland involved in the decision as well?
Yeah, of course. Look, I'm interim head coach, which I said in the autumn. I phoned Warren Gatland when I had spoken to Sam and Alun Wyn, and in fairness to Warren Gatland, he backed the decision.
In terms of the Lions captaincy, a lot of people will now be putting Alun Wyn as a favourite to captain the Lions. Do you think he will make a good Lions captain?
We've got Six Nations to win. The Lions is in May. I just want to focus on the Six Nations. That's Warren Gatland's decision.
Rob, do you view this as a bold selection?
I think it's an exciting selection. I think that the freshness, the ingredients of talent and giving talent the opportunity to perform. And I think that we've always said, from a national perspective, that the consistency of performances need to be consistent over a long period of time, and these players were no doubt talked about coming into the autumn. They proved that performance over the period of time, and they deserve their chance. I think we're all aware as well the step up from regional rugby and club rugby to international rugby, and certainly over the next 2 weeks in terms of training. I think from a coaching perspective, we're going to be really excited about the dynamics of our sessions, because we've got young talent playing with a lot of self-belief and confidence, and certainly, bringing an edge to training. And I think that the freshness and edge we need, it's the right ingredients for this moment in time. It's a view as well, obviously, to 2019 Rugby World Cup. We're 2 years out from a tournament. But obviously the short-term goal as well of Rugby World Cup qualification and the draw May the 10th in Japan. So we're well aware that in the Six Nations we're playing against the second side in world rankings and the fourth, which is really exciting because we back ourselves at home at the Principality Stadium.
With what you've said, Rob, about Sam concentrating on his own game, do you think he's more under pressure for his place than he's ever been before?
Possibly. I think the next couple of weeks will show that. I think having watched Sam over the last 4 or 5 weeks in particular, I thought he was the physicality and decision making which he showed down in the Scarlets against Llanelli. Thought he was seeing Sam back to his best, and it's something which I think Sam, the last 6 years Sam has concentrated about being Wales captain, and maybe, as I said to him when I spoke to him about being selfish, I'm looking after Sam Warburton. Sam has been a very humble and very honest captain, a fantastic ambassador for Welsh rugby. I think it's time now that Sam just looks after himself and be the best, because the Sam Warburton which we all know and we want him back. And I think that he smiled when we had the conversation, and I think that hopefully we'll see the best of Sam Warburton in the next 2 months.
Is this Alun Wyn?
Style of play, Rob?
Pardon?
Was your evolving style of play also a factor in the captaincy?
No, not really, Paul. Not really. I think that in terms of just getting Sam to be back to his best, as I've alluded to, and I think that Alun Wyn, he's vastly experienced. The integrity and the respect he holds within the peers, and I think that it's something which, it's another dynamic within the team. And when you look at our autumn series performances, personally in adversity, I saw a player perform to a level which I hadn't seen before, and I just think that I'm looking forward to working with Alun Wyn, and I know all the coaches are, and I'm sure that the one thing I've learnt about Alun Wyn over the last 4 months, that he can motivate through actions as well as words, and I'm sure that the players will follow.
Is this Alun Wyn captain? Is this Alun Wyn captain for just the Six Nations, Rob, or indefinitely?
I've just spoken about the Six Nations, really. I think, obviously, as you're all well aware, that Warren Gatland is coming back post Lions, and that's all I can say. I've spoken to Warren Gatland. I've had that conversation, and we've agreed that this is the right decision for Wales moving forward.
Rob, when do Thomas Young and Owen Williams become available to you? And not to mention the other English-based players. I mean, you wanted to introduce Owen Williams and Thomas Young into your system.
Yes.
If they're held back, as they have, such players have been in the past, then it's quite a quick process it's going to have to be.
Well, then we got the IRB training, 3-day camp, and obviously they come under the umbrella with the PRL. Obviously, they go back to their respective clubs. So depending on the fixture list, I know it's the EGF games on the weekend, and then the following week and throughout the Six Nations there's the Premiership. So, as far as we're concerned, the form which they've shown for their club, that we're hoping they're going to bring that into training, and it's a decision for us in selection before the Italian game.
Rob, are you considering Thomas as a 7, a 6, or how is it?
I think probably he's a 7. He's a 7. I think that I've spoken to his father on a couple of occasions, and I think he feels that he's a 7 as well. I think that he's the ability to play 6 as well. But I think that when you come in and having the two back rows playing against each other in sort of conditioned and chaos rugby situations, that we'll be able to see a little bit more and learn more about those players in pressurised situations. So really looking forward to the next sort of couple of weeks, Andy, in terms of the training and looking at the players and the talent we've got at our disposal.
You alluded to bonus points earlier on.
Yeah.
Is that going to change your style or approach at all throughout the championship?
It's obviously going to be a discussion, isn't it? I think that certainly when I've looked back, and I know the coaches have looked back over the Six Nations, the February time in terms of conditions dictate rugby, but there's no doubt that bonus points are going to play a part in the championship. I think all pundits have looked back about bonus points and how they might have influenced over previous years, and they have. And there's no doubt that I think we'll look to play rugby, and that's weather dictated, and I'm sure that it's an exciting time to hopefully, in terms of continue with the style which we sort of started to embed in the autumn, and we'll continue that in the Six Nations.
Rob, you've only picked 2 players who are currently playing loose head for their regions.
Yeah.
Is Rob Jones being considered in his former position of loose head? What's the kind of thinking there?
Well, I know Robin has spoken to Steve Tandy, about Rodri, and once again, as I mentioned earlier, 2019 with a World Cup view. Obviously looking at players who can play both sides, and I know Rodri's come across to the tight head, but it's something which I know Robin has asked and spoken to Rodri about that, and I think Rodri's up for the challenge and looking forward to that challenge, and I think that hopefully that will give Rodri a better chance, a better opportunity in being involved in a Rugby World Cup 2019.
So where does Robin see him future down the line, 1 or 3?
Well, he's tight head with the ability to play loose head, if that makes sense.
Coming back to your evolution of style, how much is your old Wasp sparring mate Alex King going to...
Yeah, I think he's made a difference in the last 24 hours. Look, Alex has been there. He's played at the highest level. He understands the Six Nations dynamic. He understands, having worked, with a Vern Cotter, Joe Smith. I'm really looking forward to working with Alex, as is obviously, Sean knows Alex very well, and it was hopefully an ideal opportunity for Alex to come in and work with us and give him an experience of international rugby, and thankfully he said yes, because I certainly think he'll make a difference.
What was his view looking from the outside of the way you were playing?
Oh, it's great. Well, he said that obviously he can see how we're trying to evolve and change, which he's delighted and encouraged by, and obviously we'll continue to do that in the Six Nations, Rob. And I think is a great challenge to give any, whether it's a coach or a backroom staff or a player, an opportunity to be involved in the Six Nations campaign. You take it, and I'm delighted that Alex accepted the offer.
Rhys Webb, what's his fitness situation, please, Rob?
Pardon?
Rhys Webb, you've left out several of the long-term injuries.
Yeah.
Rhys has obviously been out since November. You expect him to be up and running this week, or before the challenge?
Yeah, I think having spoken to Steve, basically I think he's going to be involved on the weekend against Newcastle. Whether that's coming off the bench or starting, that's obviously down to Steve. We might depend in terms of the week after, ask him to be involved in that game as well and probably start. So that, in fairness to Webby, I know he's had crucial injuries at probably obviously at the wrong times, but he's almost come back very fit and come back before he's probably the date that he's returned to play. So we're anticipating that he will be available for the Italian selection, and hence why he's been selected, to be honest.
Well, there have been suggestions that Wales have become one-dimensional, so-called one ball. I mean, is this what the start of something new?
By answering that question, I'm agreeing that we were one-dimensional. So I can't win in terms of the answer, can I? When you look back at our Six Nations success, we haven't done too bad, have we? So we'll try to continue in the way that we've achieved that success, and we've tried to evolve. I think what you saw out in New Zealand was evolvement of our game. We've continued that in the Six Nations, and another selection we're able to tweak 1 or 2 selections to enable us to evolve in the way that we want to, if that answers the question.
Final question for Rob, please.
Rob, Keelan Giles, are you anticipating that he'll be involved at all throughout the tournament, or are you...
Just waiting on the medics, really. It's disappointment to lose Keelan. As I think I've said on record that not putting him on against Japan, I think really was the right decision. We wanted to involve him in the Six Nations. Definitely, he has scored tries for fun, and to pull up with a hamstring injury, and we don't know how significant or not the hamstring injury is, and we're just waiting on obviously the medics. But he's 18, his first hamstring, and player welfare is pretty critical at a young age, and we've learned through experience by bringing in maybe young players and the workload of players and asking them to, the number of metres they have to run and the intensity of high-speed metres. It would be a big challenge for Keelan. So let's make the medics make the decision, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you very much. Broadcast.
Cheers, guys.